I hope it's working.
Because yesterday it was being a jerk. Is that why?
Yeah. I hope Rumble does the thing. If you're on Rumble, can you like say, hey?
Hey, what's up? Hey.
Can you say, hey, I'm on
You
Rumble
guys,
and I see you.
good morning. Happy Tuesday. If you guys cannot catch us live here, make sure you put us in your pockets.
Right there.
Make
Right
sure you do that.
there.
Yeah, you can go to our website. And while you're at our website, go to the sponsor tab on our website, chicksontheright.com. That's our website, chicksontheright.com. And then click on the American Business Spotlight banner, the ABS banner, and check out Travel Grace Vacations. Curtis Allridge, he just added Alaska cruises to their roster. And I will tell you, I've been on an Alaska cruise and it was bomb. You guys should check that out. I know there are some people here that like cruises, really into cruising. We talked to some people on our trip who really like cruising too.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot of people that really want us to do that for our next trip.
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
I don't know. I mean, listen, Alaska was really fun. That was a really fun cruise. So you should check that out. Travel Grace Vacations on our ABS banner. Check it out on our website, chicksontheright.com. Do it.
And Rumble's not working. So I'm going to have to talk to the Rumble team and find out what the heck is going on.
What is their deal?
I do not know. I'm very frustrated at Rumble. So frustrated. And also we have to already thank Tim Foolery. Tim Foolery, thank you so much. He says, hail to the victors. Congrats to Michigan, national champions. Now it's on to the Detroit Lions. Yes, there was the national championship game last night, which I did not stay up for because they were not in it. So I was like, okay, Dave Portnoy, you go have your fun. You watch your Michigan people, and I'm going to go to bed.
And also it was like, 8:00. And at 8:00, she turns into a pumpkin. She has to go to bed.
I really do turn into
a
pumpkin.
We have to address this J-Lo thing because people are pissed off at me for daring to diss J-Lo's dress yesterday.
There were a lot of people that agreed with you yesterday. They didn't like the dress.
Well, it wasn't the dress. Listen, I saw one picture because I don't give a crap about the Golden Globes. Full disclosure.
I like looking at the dresses, though. I like it.
And I usually do too, but I just could not bring myself to care yesterday. But I did see the one picture that you showed us of her dress, and it looked like the wrap thing was part of it. Too many. It was too much taffeta, man. Too much taffeta roses, and it just reminded me of
like Kat says it looks like a fallopian tube.
It looked like a lot of like woman parts all over. You know what I mean? I just couldn't. So anyways, I thought it was part of the dress. Now, when she took that thing off in other pictures after I saw yesterday, I was like, all right, well, the dress itself was just a simple pink dress.
Yeah.
I like the dress. So I don't want to have to apologize here because listen, I'm one to apologize when an apology needs to be made. But when it comes to J-Lo, not a fan. Not a fan. Don't really care about the Golden Globes. But man, I had some backlash yesterday. People were pissed off about me dissing her. Yeah, they weren't really happy. Oh my God, Daisy, I can't believe you didn't like the dress. So, anyways,
I actually liked the whole getup. I liked the big giant flat. I liked all of it.
Yeah. Well, you like the frill. You like the things. And I'm more of a simple gal. I like the simple.
So you like the Jennifer Aniston, just plain old.
Yes, I'm more of that. That's more my style. So I didn't really like, and plus J-Lo. Oh God.
I know. She's exhausting.
Over the top. Anyways, but that, so I guess if you want to consider this an apology, I didn't see the whole picture, you guys. Now that I see the whole picture, the dress itself was a pretty dress. It was fine.
Well, and speaking of dresses looking like woman parts, did you see Gillian Anderson's dress, which had actual vaginas embroidered all over it?
Yeah. Why are we doing this? Why are we?
She says it's like part of her brand.
Sex education. And
I don't know. Actually, the dress itself was gorgeous.
It was.
And you couldn't see. Yeah. Far away, you couldn't see.
It was
like,
really pretty.
All the embroidered stuff. It was beautiful. But then when you got up close and you saw that that's what it was, and I was just like, why do you got to ruin a perfectly good dress like that?
Right. It was like a Monet. It's like, what are you doing? Why? What?
Well, and since we're in the business of apologizing this morning, I have to apologize to our new BFF, Patty, who was on our Costa Rican trip with us and whose name I left off when I was listing all of our new gal pal names yesterday. And I messaged her and I was like, I cannot believe that I left you off because this was my list. I had it in front of me, you guys, but look at how terrible my handwriting is.
It's
You
pretty
can
bad.
see she is listed there at number 4. And so I just don't know how, as I was reading this list, how I didn't say her name.
Yeah,
But
I know.
she was
I know how
obviously
you guys.
there.
I know how it's visiting angels.
I can't read
America's
my
choice,
own
home
writing.
care. That's what it was.
So anyway, I just felt bad. And so Patty, I did not mean to, you are like all up in my heart. And I
Patty.
did not forget you in my
Mhm.
heart. So I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out because I felt so bad about it. I felt so bad about it. Somebody said that Rumble is working, and
Is it?
now I don't know what to, because it's got an error message for me, like right here on our platform. And so if you're on Rumble, great, but I don't think it's working because we're getting like word here that it's not. Anyway, hopefully the people that normally watch on Rumble will find us elsewhere. All right, so couple things to mention right out of the gate. There's a big story right now about like a weird tunnel thing that was built under a synagogue in New York City, and like police had to come busting into the synagogue last night, and there was complete mayhem because a bunch of young Hasidic Jew or Orthodox Jews, I don't want to get the wrong, Orthodox Jews. These young members of the synagogue they'd apparently built some tunnel underneath it, and the leaders of that synagogue are super mad about it, and they're like, these guys should pay a price and they deserve some punishments. And they were so mad about the construction workers trying to like fill in the tunnels that police had to get involved, and it was complete mayhem and chaos. And that's all I know about that story. But if you see, there's some mayhem that happened.
Okay, so they were Hasidic Jews built, like young Hasidic Jews building a tunnel.
They'd already built it. Like it was a already built tunnel, and it was discovered. I guess
where they were building it to where,
to like to a bath house.
Okay.
Thing.
Okay.
I don't know the ins and outs of all of that.
Right. Okay.
But something about it seems very, very sketch. And so the leaders of that synagogue are very, very mad. And there was just an absolute riot that took place in there where police had to be called, and it was a bunch of people were dragged away in handcuffs, and it was crazy. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah,
so that's happening.
That's happening. And then a couple of other interesting headlines because oh my God, California's health plan, like their state health plan coverage already covers illegals, which should infuriate everybody already. But now they have decided to also, under the California state health coverage plan, which California taxpayers pay the bill for, now they are saying, hey, if you're illegal and you need a sex change, we got you, boo.
Oh my God.
We're going to cover that too.
It's unreal. I mean, you guys pay for healthcare. You know how expensive it is, especially like if you're self-employed or whatever. It's like a punch in the nads, when you hear this stuff. Who is not pissed off about this? Oh my God. I mean, like my husband retired last year, and I just think of what we pay because we were on his health insurance, because you and I are self-employed. I mean, my God, you and I can't afford healthcare. Jeez. What people who are like this, if you and I would have gone and gotten healthcare for ourselves, we would have to get like 4 more jobs just to pay.
Oh my God. It was insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
So I mean, like his healthcare, it's absolutely astronomical. It is insulting that we are having to pay for illegals to get free healthcare. I mean, so basically I should just have him go into Mexico, become a Mexican citizen, come back, and then just hop the border, and then we can get free healthcare. I'm so pissed off about this.
I mean, everybody should be.
You're such a racist, Daisy. No, this is outrageous.
It really is. It really is. Just when you think it can't get worse. And then speaking of trans people, and just look for this in a country near you, right? In the UK, police are now allowing trans women police officers to strip search female suspects as needed. So if you're a woman and they suspect you of you need a strip search for whatever reason, now a trans like a dude who says, "Oh yeah, I'm a woman, I will do the strip search." That's fine now. So
No.
that's also happening.
Hell no.
And then there was another big dump of information from the Epstein document stuff, which was very incriminating against Clinton, Richard Branson, Prince Andrew, and Trump. And most of it comes from the deposition of Sarah Ransom, who alleged that there are sex tapes between all kinds of girls and Richard Branson, Bill Clinton, and Prince Andrew, and that Trump also had sex with a whole bunch of girls at Epstein's New York City penthouse, and like was very specific about things sexually that Trump likes. But that same woman recanted her entire account back in, I think, 2016, said that she made up everything just to bring attention to Epstein and how like shady he was. But then now today, and this week, she's once again saying, well, yeah, I took it back because my life was threatened, but yeah, it's all true. So I have no idea what to believe, and I wouldn't get anybody's hopes up about anything about this whole Epstein thing, because nothing is going to come of it.
Nothing will come of it. I won't believe anything until Ghislaine says stuff. And at this point, why doesn't she just do that? Because she has nothing to lose. Listen, if I were her, I'd be like, my life sucks. I'm in jail. And I'm going to leave something to humanity because my life has been a complete waste. I'm a horrible human being for the things that I've done. So to make amends and to maybe try to get into heaven, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sing like a bird. I'm just going to go ahead and say all the things and tell who's been on this island and what they did and do it. Say all the things, do it. And then if people kill me, I get killed. Whatever. At least maybe I'll get to heaven. That's what I would do if I were her. Just do it. Like, say the things. Like, come clean. Why doesn't she do that? I don't get it.
Well, she probably doesn't want to die. I mean, she probably does fear for her actual life.
She's going to die anyway. At least die and have a clean conscience. That would be me, but I'm not her, as I'm not a madam. I'm not a horrible, terrible human being. I didn't like sex traffic young ladies, Right. I mean, like, but if I were her, that's what I'd do. At least come clean. Tell it all. Get all these people, like, just let it all come down. Let the whole nasty, house of cards just come tumbling down. That's what I would do. Because we're never going to know the truth until she talks.
Yeah. Or unless there's because there's so much evidence that's been hidden away, and now there's calls on the FBI to release a bunch of stuff that they have. It's never going to happen. I just don't have a single lick of faith that anything is going to come from this. So that's why I don't like spending a whole big bunch of time on it, on all the details, because what's the point?
Yep. Amen to you. Yep. I'm 100% in agreement with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys, it is a new year. And if you are a resolution type of person, maybe you should be thinking about taking better care of your skin. We know how to do that because of our friends at genucel.com/chicks. They have decided, out of the goodness of their hearts, to keep their amazing sale going. So this is their New Year's sales event now, and they are still doing over 70% off on their most popular package right now. This has so much good stuff in it, and just for a limited time off, only, I don't know how long this part of the package is going to last. They are still including for free the hyaluronic acid serum. So if you want to get that free gift attached to the most popular package, do it now, because I don't know how long that part is going to last. And so that the hyaluronic acid serum, that's the stuff that really is super, super good for maximum skin hydration. Go to genucel.com/chicks, enter code chicks. You're going to get at checkout for all the extra savings. You're going to get automatically upgraded to free shipping. So don't wait, genucel.com/chicks and enter code chicks. Do it today. And thank you, Marcus Drake. Marcus Drake says they've had that log for years now. How do we know it's not another Russian dossier hoax made up to get Trump? Well, because Trump isn't the only guy's name on it.
Right.
So, you either believe that all of them are they all are bad, or because you can't very well be like only Trump is guilty and then forget Richard Branson, forget Bill Clinton, forget Prince
like
Andrew.
the 26 times that Bill Clinton was on the flight logs. I mean,
right. So you either believe all of it or none of it, but like I don't know how you can pick and choose. Well, I don't think Trump did anything, but I do think Bill Clinton did things.
And if it was a hoax, they would have never had Clinton on the flight logs that many times. They would have never had Clinton mentioned at all. They would have never had any Democrats mentioned at all. It would have all been geared towards Republicans.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Bo Mama 8, thank you so much. She says Ghislaine will most likely do it in a book or movie where she gets some kind of return or favors. They are all horrible.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're allowed to do that though, right? Like if she's
from prison
felon, I don't think she's allowed to profit from the crimes that put her in prison. I could be wrong about that, but
I'm surprised that no one's tried to profit off of her.
Yeah.
That surprises me. But I think so many people in the industry, in the celebrity circles, in political circles, they're all so tied with it that they don't want to touch it. They don't want to because they're all in it. They all were doing it. So why would they want to touch that? That's why we've not heard anything about it. That's why everybody's been so quiet about it. No heads have rolled because they're all gross, you guys.
They are all so gross. You guys have probably heard, we didn't mention it yesterday because honestly, I did not expect this story to explode the way that it has. But you probably heard that LloydAustin, Defense Secretary LloydAustin, was in ICU for 4 days last week. And apparently nobody knew about it, which is not okay. And so now that story is not easing up. And there were a bunch of reporters in the gaggle yesterday pressing John Kirby and KJP about this and the fact that he kept it secret. They want to know, what did Biden know? When did he know it? Because apparently Biden had no idea that his defense secretary was sick or in the hospital. And it's all due to complications from an elective procedure. Nobody knows what that procedure is, apparently. So there's lots of questions about that. So here are reporters pressing John Kirby specifically about what the elective surgery was and if Biden knows about it.
Does the president know what elective surgery the secretary had, even though the American people don't know? And does he know what his current symptoms are and his current health condition is?
I know that the president had an opportunity to talk to Secretary Austin a couple of days ago, wish him well,
there's a blank spot. I don't know
that conversation, and I don't know the level of the president's personal knowledge of his medical situation, and that would really be between the two men. Your question about that elective procedure is really better directed to the Pentagon, not to us. I want to make sure I put a fork in my answer to you. There is no plans for anything other than for Secretary Austin to stay in the job and continuing the leadership that he's been demonstrating.
So that's the first part. And then they were asked about the transparency aspect, because it's one thing for them to not tell America, but like to not have each other know, what's their protocol for if Biden gets sick, which is a really legit question, considering there's a gajillion wars going on.
Yeah.
Not having a functional defense secretary, kind of a big deal.
He's sixth in line to the president. This is unprecedented. This has never happened before. Right.
So here's the question about transparency.
John, given the delay in disclosing this, did Secretary Austin meet the president's own standard of transparency? And is the White House committed, if President Biden had to have some kind of medical procedure, is the White House committed to releasing that information to the public in a very timely manner?
Well, on the second question, and you're a little out of my lane, that's really, but I don't want to speak for Kareem, but I think the answer is yes. I mean, the answer is absolutely yes. We'll be as transparent as possible.
Yeah. I mean, the president has always put transparency at the center of his administration from the beginning, and obviously that's what we're going to continue to do. So we're going to continue to be transparent. Obviously, the Department of Defense will have more to speak to about their protocol. I just don't have anything to add specifically on that.
They're such liars.
Yeah, they're total liars. If Biden doesn't fire him, it's going to make Biden look bad. I mean,
I don't know how much worse he could look.
How he could possibly look any worse, right? But I mean, this is the thing. He looks so incompetent for not knowing where the hell he was
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't, I mean, because right now it looks like he's not going to fire him. He's like, oh,
Right.
no, it's totally fine. I had no idea where he was. Thumb up my butt. I mean, he has no clue. He doesn't know what his people are doing, what's going on. This administration is so completely inept in all the ways and every facet, right? But I mean, to save a little face, he should be like, oh my God, this was unacceptable. You're fired.
Right.
He won't do it.
I don't think he's going to do it. And apparently even LloydAustin's deputy secretary had no idea.
Yeah.
And like she was on vacation it was literally no one was running the ship.
I heard that she had the flu.
Oh my God.
I heard she had the flu and I'm like, oh my, so what?
Wow.
It's like, who cares? I mean, my God, I can't. In corporate America, people get sick. They still know what the hell's going on. You work from home. I can't. So this just shows you how completely messed up we are. And this is the military, you guys. Like
they're supposed to be rigid and structured and organized. And,
I'm looking at this and I'm like, can you imagine if this were Trump? Could you imagine if it were Bush? Could you imagine heads? I would be rolling. Everybody would be freaking out. They would be, the news networks, like all the mainstream media would be losing their minds, like having a heyday with this. It would never happen. Plus, do you feel safe? Do you guys feel
that's
safe
the big
right
question.
now? Because look at all the crap that's happening in the world and all the wars and everything. And we should be on heightened alert. This guy should be working all the time. And if he's not working, everybody should know where he is. I don't feel safe.
Well, JD Vance was on a news show being asked about this, and he had very strong opinions on the matter.
Do you think it's time for Mr. Austin to resign? Biden apparently is not going to fire him. The question is, should Austin resign? Because a lot of this stuff comes from Austin's own office, which was, shall we say, miscalculating.
Look, he absolutely should resign. He should be fired by the President of the United States. And barring that, the Congress has to look into this. There are so many problems here, so many unanswered questions. Did we have a breakdown in our nuclear deterrence? Of course, the Secretary of Defense is a major part of that. We're now, 4 days where we haven't seen the Secretary of Defense. We should actually check in and make sure, God forbid, we don't have a weekend at Bernie's situation with the world's most powerful military. He should resign. This is disgraceful. Again, I've never seen anything like it. But beyond him resigning, Larry, we've got to have a very, very stark set of questions to the Biden administration about who's actually in charge over there. If you lose the Secretary of Defense for days, it suggests that the engine is running, but nobody's behind the wheel. That is the story of the Biden administration at a time of extraordinary chaos for the United States all across the world. It's a big, big problem.
Yeah.
It's a big, big problem.
He won't step down. I don't think he won't resign at all. These people it's like they feel like they're above it all. They don't have to, there's no accountability. There's never been for the past 3 years on anything. It's like they're not, and Democrats aren't calling for it. Democrats are like, no, this is fine. It's like business as usual for us. This is totally fine. Wow. It's crazy. And somebody said something about his mask. I think we got a super stick.
Yeah. Teresa Raimundo. Thank you. Teresa says, being a former military member, this joker has been a complete disappointment since he got the job. Between the mask and his total lack of leadership, he needs to go. Of course, the whole administration is a total disgrace.
Yeah.
And Lori Mazamuro. Thank you. Lori says, on The Crown, the Queen wasn't told about Churchill having a stroke. She was pissed. This reminded me of that lack of pure leadership. Yeah. I mean, it's unreal. And then when they asked Nancy Pelosi if she thinks he should be, fired or if he should resign, the answer is completely different, as you might expect. Here she is.
Do you still feel confident in him serving as Secretary of Defense?
Well, I'm a big fan of the Secretary. I think he's done a remarkable job as Secretary of Defense. He commands great respect. In fact, I was going to give him a call this past week about something, and I thought I'll just do it when I get back to D.C. But that's really something up to him and the President of the United States, because nobody knows better than the Secretary of Defense and the Commander-in-Chief.
I was going to give him a call. Yeah. I was going to call him last week, but I
didn't know where he was.
He didn't answer. It was really weird. He wasn't there.
Oh my God, thank you for
pick up the
our
phone.
Point.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Jeez, I swear.
I will say she looks really good.
Does she? You think?
Don't you think? I thought she looked really good. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm saying for Nancy Pelosi. Like her eyebrows weren't way up too high. Everything was sort of settled in the right.
Everything was like, yeah, she had not had a fresh batch of botulism shoved in her cranium. So maybe they had fallen a little bit to normal.
Yeah, I mean, they were just sort of, they weren't like quite as alien-ish as normal.
Yeah. Jen Psaki's looking pretty rough though.
Yeah.
Look at
She's
us.
an unfortunate person. I know.
Such bitches.
There's an unbelievable story that Mollie Hemingway posted yesterday. I'm going to put it up on the screen because this is pretty extraordinary. So they're apparently the re-election campaign for Biden has started putting together these off-the-record trips for journalists, specific political reporters and editors. And so they get to go off and have these debriefs about what they are doing wrong according to the Biden campaign.
Okay.
This is unbelievable. This is, and as Mollie states, and she's absolutely right, Democrat privilege includes having corporate media 1,000% in your pocket and being able to demand that they turn up the propaganda even more. This is almost comical.
Oh my God, it's China. This is China, right? You guys. But listen, I'm the mainstream media. It's not a propaganda machine at all for the Democrat Party. No, it's fine. I'll just wait over here while you convince yourself of that. You commie. Oh my God.
I know. And then if
outrageous.
it wasn't commie enough, check out two headlines. This is from, I think, the New York Times and Bloomberg. Same day, I believe the same day, was within these last couple days. Look at this.
Oh my God.
What the hell? So one of them says, the Bloomberg headline for those listening and not watching, it says 2024 is the year of elections, and that is a threat to democracy. And the New York Times say elections are bad for democracy.
Yeah. And then these people will drone on and on and on about how they want to save democracy. Okay. How about you F off? Like you and you're like, democracy. Oh my God. And then Trump is going to ruin democracy. Just shut up. Don't talk to me about democracy. First of all, we're a constitutional republic. I get so tired of that. Like they don't even know what that is. They don't know what the Constitution is. Oh my God, these people. Insufferable.
It's just like, incredible. Well, they're just saying these things out loud with no shame now. You know, it's incredible, really.
And just sucking at the teat of the presidency, thinking that that's okay. And they dare to call themselves journalists. Oh my God, so gross.
Amazing. But I think we were talking about this yesterday, or maybe it was offline. I can't remember, but I know we had a conversation recently about the difference in the way that the January 6th is talked about compared to the summer of 2020, right? And the summer of 2020 was absolutely insane. Biden spoke at I think it was Charleston, some South Carolina church yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, Charleston. He was talking about the summer of 2020 and the words that he used to describe that utter mayhem of the summer of 2020. It has to be heard to be believed. It is coming right.
After the historic movement for justice in the summer of 2020, I signed the most significant police reform executive order in history.
Historic movement for justice. That's what 2020 was. That was a historic movement for justice, everybody. Wow. Oh my God. So I saw that 25 people had died in the riots, during the riots. So it was like 11 participating in political demonstrations and 14 in other events linked to political unrest. So 25 people died. And that was a historic movement for justice, according to Joe Biden.
And think of the damage and the businesses lost.
Oh, that wasn't even that doesn't even count the damage, like the just the amount of money, that, oh my God, that went to just cleaning up and all the stuff. I can't even get started on that, but the lives lost, 25.
Yeah. And compare that to the big insurrection.
Yeah.
There's no comparison.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting because you will never hear them during the election cycle this year talk about 2020. They won't talk about 2020. They're just only going to talk about the insurrection, right?
Or they're going to talk about it like Biden just did and describe
Mhm.
it as some historic justice movement.
Right.
It's total gaslighting. Like that's what that
Absol-
is.
Yep. Yep.
It's amazing. He also had one of his famous Biden moments where I think he was trying to say the word government and then just ended up like landing on garment, and it just did not make any sense. Here he is.
In our time, there's still the old ghost of new garments.
What?
We all need to rise to meet the moment. Dark
Garments. That's no.
He was so close. He was right there. He was just so close. He was so close. He also got some pro-Gaza, pro-Hamas hecklers at this particular event. Now, I did edit this clip in that the chants of the people that try to overpower the protesters start going 4 more years, 4 more years. And they do it for forever. And so I cut it. I cut that down so it's only like a few seconds long instead of like a whole minute. That's the only way that this has been edited, just so you know.
darkness.
If you really care about the lives lost here, then you should honor the lives lost and call for a ceasefire in Palestine. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Thank you. Look, folks, I understand their passion, and I've been quietly working with the Israeli government to get them to reduce and significantly get out of Gaza.
Excuse me?
Using all that I can to do that.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. What?
I know.
You're
Maybe he's
working with the government to reduce their presence and you don't say that in a freaking church speech.
Yeah, he is just he's a complete disaster when it comes to this. It's just a total just keep your mouth shut.
Right? Just,
know?
I know you're trying to appease and you're trying to pander to your little protester people, but
exactly.
Wow.
Just shut up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Michelle Boyd, thank you. Michelle says, we are a constitutional republic. I vomit every time I hear save democracy.
Yeah, right.
I
It drives
know.
me crazy too. It just shows you how uneducated so many people in the United States, how uneducated they are.
Yeah. Thought you guys would get a kick out of this clip from 2016, where Biden is talking about hoping at that time, or having hope, that his kids would end up, that at least one of his kids would end up as a billionaire so that they could take care of him in his old age. And he goes on to describe, and this is before Bo's death, so he goes on to describe the occupations of each of his kids at this time in 2016. And I think what's her name is a social worker. Bo, of course, was attorney general, but it's the way that he describes Hunter's job that has people like, what? Listen to this.
I kid with my wife, Jill. I say, I dream that someday one of my kids would grow up to be a billionaire. Instead, one became the attorney general. The other is in the refugee camps outside of Amman, working for World Food Program. And the other one is a social worker.
Oh my God.
I should have had one enterprising young Republican who made a lot of money, so when they put me in a home, I at least have a window with a view, you know?
Interesting that he thinks it would take a Republican to do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like, because our kids are the ones who are enterprising and entrepreneurial. Isn't that interesting how he does believe that? Yeah. And
I'm sorry,
Hunter,
refugee camps?
That's what Hunter was doing? Hunter was in refugee camps.
Outside of Iman?
What?
Working for like a World Food Bank? What is even happening?
Somebody needs to explain that to me. And can you imagine Hunter doing that? Is that where he got his Coke? And the prostitutes is there? Because I don't think so. I don't think that they do that. Somebody's gonna have to do some research on that.
That was a weird one.
Yeah, that was weird.
Trump made a comment yesterday that's getting a lot of attention about magnets. Somebody's going to need to translate this for me.
Here we go. Here we go.
What is he saying, you guys?
It didn't work. They had an almost $1 billion cost overrun on the magnetic elevators. Think of it, magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets. Why didn't they use John Deere? Why didn't they bring in the John Deere people? Do you like John Deere? I like John Deere.
I'm sorry, what?
Somebody was so mad. I can't remember who it was that said they didn't take the whole clip of this, and so they took it out of context, and they were defending this because it wasn't the whole clip, and you can't do that, blah. And they were really mad that it wasn't.
But if you say that if you put magnets in water, they stop working, that's not true.
I know. I get it. I know. Somebody was mad. It's like,
that's out of context.
I know. So somebody was really pissed off about it. And then there was another person I saw on Twitter, and I don't remember who it was, saying that, can we just find somebody other than one of these candidates to run the country? Like, what? Out of 330,
that was Tom Elliott.
Was it Tom Elliott? Out of all the people in the country, why are we looking at Biden or Trump to run the country?
I think he even posted that garment clip. He posted the magnets and the garment clip of Biden side by side. And he was like, seriously, America, this is the best we can do?
Yeah. I mean, and listen, I like Trump, but it is a great question, like, out of all the people in the country, like these are the two people that are like representing, that are representing all of us. Not that I think Trump is great, but it's a good question. You know what I mean? It's a good question that
that's who we're choosing
two really older dudes, again, I will say I like Trump, but those are two older. I mean, surely there's somebody like in their 50s or 60s, that, or even like early 70s, you know what I mean? That would be a really good candidate, but we just have, nobody has come forward.
I mean, they're forward. They're just being ignored. So,
or there's not a lot of them though. There's just not a whole lot of quality people. Or
there are, and they just don't want to run because of and the hell that you go through.
That is terrifying.
Lori Mazamuro, thank you. Lori says it was at Mother Emanuel Church. She's talking about Biden's speech. Did you hear about the protesters who blocked the bridges and tunnels in New York City? Yes, we did. And we are going to get to that in just a bit. But first, I want to remind everybody about how awesome the folks at Coat Defense are. If you have dogs or cats or horses, or if you as a human suffer from skin conditions that you just wish you could find all natural products to treat, coatdefense.com has got you. Now, their bread and butter is this amazing preventative powder. This is for dogs specifically, but again, they have it for cats and for horses as well. This stuff is magic, and it's a preventative and a treatment. So if you have a dog that has itchy skin, or you see them chewing on their feet a lot, or they're scratching constantly, or they smell kind of stinky, don't spend gobs of money on Apoquel or other prescriptions at your vet's office, or spend money on the vet even, until you have tried this preventative powder. You sprinkle this on, you rub it into their coat, or you brush it in, whichever is your preference. It takes care of so many problems that lead to all of those symptoms. Like yeast tends to be the biggest factor in causing all those problems, and this stuff wipes it out. It is amazing. They have dog shampoo. They've got the little balm that you can put on their noses and their toe beans to keep them moist in the winter. So many great products, and you can get a 15% off discount when you use code CHICKS at coatdefense.com. That's coatdefense.com. It is amazing stuff. Truly, truly amazing stuff. All right. Michelle Obama making the rounds, which is leading to a lot of people doing the speculating, right? Like,
Yep.
why is she coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden?
Mhm.
Why
Yep.
is she spending an hour on podcasts? And she sat down on a podcast, I guess, within the last few days to talk about all the goings on in the world and the things that keep her up at night.
What keeps me up are the things that I know. The war in the region, in too many regions. What is AI going to do for us? The environment, are we moving at all fast enough? What are we doing about education? Are people going to vote? And why aren't people voting? Are we too stuck to our phones? I mean, those are the things that keep me up because you don't have control over them. And you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted. The fact that people think that government, does it really even do anything? And I'm like, oh my God. Does government do everything for us? And we cannot take this democracy for granted. And sometimes I worry that we do. Those are the things that keep me up.
It's so interesting that
So I heard Michelle Obama do
the thing. I was just going to say, it's so interesting to me that the things that terrify her the most are the things that she cannot control. That totally stuck out to me. Like that's such a commie thing to say.
Well, but it's true though. That tends to be what everybody worries about, are the things that are out of our control.
But I think that the things that she wants to control are very different than the things that I want to control. Like,
well, she wants to control the bully pulpit.
Right. She wants to control us. She wants to control like me and my family. I don't want to do that with other people. I don't want to do that with you. I don't want to do that with your families. I don't want to do that with Democrats. I don't want to do it. I just don't. I want you to live your life and be happy and do your thing. And I want to live my life and be happy and do my thing. And I think generally that's how conservatives want to live. We just want to be left the freak alone. Like that is what our founders intended for our country. I don't want to control you and I don't want you to control me. That's how I feel. But I get the sense that she wants to do that.
She made it very clear that she says government does everything for us.
Right.
And that's the freaking problem.
And that is what Democrats believe. That's what communists believe. That's what they want. I don't want that. I just want my freedom. That's what I want. I want freedom and I want you to leave me alone. And that is and so that stuck out to me, man. That's what terrifies her. I'm terrified of you wanting to control me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's leading a lot of people to speculate, is this her way of scooching in? So I can't remember who said it, but somebody said the person that will, or the party that will win this election is the party that replaces one of the top candidate in their party. So whether Democrats replace Biden with someone or whether Republicans replace Trump with someone, that's who will win. And I don't remember who said that, but that was what they said. And so now that Michelle is making all these rounds, there's a lot of talk. Is this Michelle like entering the potential field? Jesse Waters kind of sounds like he thinks that is the case, but you'll hear from the other folks on the five, they groan and moan when he suggests it, which I thought was really interesting. Here it is.
So I heard Michelle Obama do an hour-long podcast yesterday. And she's talking about Gaza. She's talking about the border. She's talking about what keeps her up at night. And this may be even her saying, listen, I'm option 2 if the convention rolls around and Joe hits his head again. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but she's putting herself out there, as they say.
I don't disagree with them. I don't. I just don't know how she would leave her cushy life to do that. Her life is so cush right now, man. I mean, it's a lot of work to be president. And right now, I mean, let's face it, her husband's basically running the country. So
I wonder if he knew if Secretary Austin was sick.
Yeah, I know, right?
Maybe that's who Lloyd called. He's like,
Yes.
listen, Obama, I'm in ICU. All
Yeah,
right?
and it's
You
like
got me?
he just forgot. Obama just forgot to tell everybody else. He was like, I was golfing. I forgot to tell everybody. So Obama's basically running the show. So I don't know. Maybe it's like she could be like, well, we could just co-run it for a 4th term.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't rule it out, you guys. Weirder crap has happened.
There's still a lot of 2024 to get through before we even get close to the election, which
Yep.
seems crazy, but it's true. RFK Jr. still out there doing the campaigning, and he was asked recently about these states who keep trying to remove Trump from their state ballots, which is absolutely insane and absurd. And I'm super glad the Supreme Court is going to hear that, because this is crazy that they're trying to take him off of the ballot. It's the people's choice, and we should get to vote for whoever we want to vote for. And the fact that these states are trying this and then worrying, and in the same breath saying Trump is a threat to democracy, I'm like, do you not see what you're doing?
They don't.
It makes no sense. But he was very pointed when asked his opinions about these states trying to pull this off.
What do you think about those efforts to take the former president off the ballot based on an insurrection charge that he has not been charged with?
I think it's wrong-headed, and I think it's counterproductive. I'm not a fan of President Trump's. That's why I'm running against him, and I'm confident that I'm going to beat him. But I don't want to beat him on a slanted playing field. I think the American people want to see a fair fight. They want debates. They want real democracy. And as you point out, I've read the decision, and it makes no sense to me that you can deprive an American citizen of this right to run for president without ever charging him with, much less convicting him of insurrection. That seems to violate due process, and it makes us look like a banana republic. And by the way, I think it turns Trump into a kind of mythological figure. I think it's very, very short-sighted, and it's just wrong. It's un-American.
You know what? It's like, if you compare this whole thing to a sport, I was thinking about this last night, because on the plane coming back from Costa Rica, I watched, I can't remember what I Am Tanya. I watched I Am Tanya.
Oh, man, was that available? I wanted to see that.
Oh my God, it's so good. You've never seen it?
No.
I've watched it twice. It's so fantastic. She got screwed, by the way. And she's such, trailer trash, and I love her. But anyways, but I look at this whole situation, and I think, it's, if you compare it to a sport, that it's what they've done is unconstitutional. It's completely un-American, right? But it's like what Gillooly did to Nancy Kerrigan. The Democrat Party is Jeff Gillooly. And they're hitting Trump at the knee. Like, he didn't actually do it himself. I mean, they basically got people to do it. There are 2 other guys that did it, but they called it Gillooly, right? This is what we know Jeff Gillooly, but they're basically bashing him in the knees because they don't want a fair fight, because they're afraid of him. And so they don't. This is exactly what Kennedy's saying. Like, if he doesn't want it to be slanted.
Right.
He wants
to beat him
fight.
fair and square.
And that's what we want in America.
Yes.
We want a fair fight. Okay. So they're Gilloolying this guy, which is not, it's not okay. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants it in America. And everybody sees this happening, and it's pissing us off on the right. Just make a fair fight. That's all we're asking for in America. Quit Gilloolying this guy, and let us see the fair fight. Let us see it play out.
Yep. Shelley, thank you. Shelley says Michelle Obama being president identity. What? Michelle Obama. Help me out with this. Michelle Obama being president. I don't know what this says.
Being pres identity outs be like me, Lurleen Wallace, when she was the governor of Alabama. It would be a figurehead position. So if Michelle Obama gets it, she would just basically have a figurehead position, and Obama would be running the country again for a 4th term.
Yeah,
which
that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Biden on the border. There's an old clip of him. I think he was either just about to be president. I can't remember if this was on the campaign trail or what, but this clip is resurfacing of this like tough talk that he was taking against ICE agents. So instead of putting the blame on the illegals for crossing and breaking the law, he was Mr. Tough Guy, put him up about punishing and having ICE agents face consequences for trying to arrest illegals who hadn't committed a serious felony. And the fact that he is Mr. Tough Guy against the complete wrong people, the people who are actually trying to protect the border, I get why this is resurfaced. It's absolutely infuriating.
We're not going to deport anybody who, in fact, has not in this country committed a felony. I would hold ICE agents accountable if, in fact, they stepped over my executive orders, which is no arrest of anyone outside of their school.
So how do you change the culture?
You change the culture by saying you're going to get fired. You're fired if, in fact, you do that. You only arrest for the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Even they were speechless.
Well,
right?
look,
like
you're
they were like, what?
Okay. So I didn't, like in 1972, that's when there was that car crash that involved his former wife, the wife that died in that car crash, and his daughter. And he used to go around telling everybody that the driver of the other truck or whatever was drunk, which was a lie. He had to apologize about that. But I mean,
I'm sorry. Are you suggesting that Biden lied?
Yes.
What
yes,
are
I am.
you saying?
I'm not just suggesting it. I'm saying that he's a complete and utter liar. Yes. So he claimed the other driver was drunk, but was that like, would he be okay with that? I'm trying to understand. Is that like a misdemeanor? Like what is that? Because that to me would be a felony. If in fact that was true and he used to go around spewing that bullshit to everybody, would that be a felony or a misdemeanor? He is a mess, this guy.
He's a total mess.
He's a total mess. So
mess.
he had to apologize for that like in 2009 when we started our site. I think it was around the time we started it. But I mean, like, he's saying that is not a felony. First of all, it's you break the law by breaking into our country.
Right. And then you break it again with a DUI and it's fine. Let's give you a sex change operation for free. Like, what is happening?
Like, I just cannot. How can you be on the side of this? How can you be on the side of law breaking? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. The mayor of Chicago still bitching about your governor, very, very upset with him, and says that Governor Abbott is targeting Black-run cities. Forget that there's the sanctuary cities. He's targeting Black-run cities. He's actually saying this out loud.
Well, look, you're absolutely right about the intentions of Governor Abbott. He is attacking democratically ran cities, and particularly cities that are being led by Black leaders or leaders of color.
God.
This is unconscionable. And it's a very raggedy approach. And quite frankly, not only is it reckless and raggedy, but it is evil-spirited. And so what?
Okay. What an idiot.
It's reckless and raggedy, you guys. It is. Because, of course,
maybe don't have a sanctuary city then.
Got to pull the race card because they got nothing else. I mean, it's so old at this point, isn't it?
I mean,
it's old.
It is. It is so old and so tired and so overdone and so pathetic.
I'm exhausted by it. I'm exhausted. And Abbott should be too. I hope he's just like, whatever, dude. Seriously. Raggedy.
And then speaking of the border, interestingly enough, Kat Kamak was telling Harris Faulkner that Mayorkas, who is facing impeachment proceedings, was very threatening in a closed door meeting. And this was corroborated by other people who were in that room. Here is her talking about it.
To get rid of him. And let me remind you, when behind closed doors, we told him, you're getting ready to be impeached. He said, you're not going to like who comes next. I asked him if that was a threat. Whoa. He just smiled. This man is dangerous. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he is two-faced. We need to get rid of him now.
What did he mean, who comes next?
Well, that was the big question. I asked him, I said, is that a threat? And he just smiled. And I thought, this man knows exactly what he's doing. This is 100% by design. They want an open border crisis, whether it is for a election, whether it's for future votes as they work to get rid of citizenship as a requirement for voting. We're not sure, but he was very, very clear in what he said, and there were other members in the room. So I will never forget that. And as we go to impeach him for his negligence, for him destroying our national security and eroding our national sovereignty, that will be top of mind.
Yeah, I wish somebody had gotten that on tape so we could play it over and over. Perhaps we will when you guys go into session.
God, it's like he might as well just have a mustache. He's like,
right? You can see that
Totally.
sinister, stupid, frog face smile.
Yeah.
Just when she describes it, you can
Yep.
see it.
Dude is pure freaking evil, man.
Yeah,
He is,
just
and
the
he's treasonous,
worst.
and they need to get rid of him. So they need to move. I don't know why these people, like our side of the aisle, they are taking so long. They are dragging their freaking feet. Get him out of there. And I know she's like, oh, we should be, like he's saying, you should be afraid of who's next. We shouldn't be afraid of who's next. Impeach him too. Whoever, seriously, get him out of there. Get these swamp creatures out of there. If they don't love the United States, if they're not going to protect us, get them out. I'm so tired of this. Like, I wish people on our side of the aisle would like buy a set of balls. We pay them enough. Buy some balls. If you don't have them, buy them. I mean, seriously, so sick of this crap.
Speaker Mike Johnson was interviewed recently by a reporter who had not done her homework, and he completely calls her on it, and it's awesome.
In 2021, you were the lawmaker who circulated the legal brief known as the Texas Amicus Brief, challenging the 2020 election outcome in a number of states, which by CBS editorial standards makes you an election denier.
That's nonsense.
Well, can I get you on the record on that?
I've always been consistent on the record. Did you read the brief? Did you get a chance to read what we filed with the Supreme Court?
Well, I have read extensively some criticisms of that.
You read commentary about the brief, but not what we submitted to the court.
But you recognize that President Biden won the 2020 election. Can you just put that aside as an
President Biden was
issue?
certified as the winner of the election. He took the oath of office. He's been the president for 3 years. The argument that we presented to the court, which is our only avenue to do so, was that the Constitution was clearly violated in the 2020 election. It's Article 2, Section 1, and anyone can Google it and read it for themselves. The system by which you choose electors to elect the president of the United States must be done by the individual states, and the system must be ratified by the state legislatures. That is language, plain language out of the Constitution.
Have issues with the validity of the 2020 election.
The Constitution was violated in the run-up to the 2020 election.
I love that he's so chill.
He is very chill. But I mean, it's like, I would have been like, you ignorant slut. and this is why I can't do his job. It's like, do you read? Do you know how to read? Did you go to journalism school? Do you know how to read, lady? No, I don't. I just know how to read other people's crap.
I read all the criticism about it.
I read the
so
commentary
therefore,
about it. I
can talk about it.
Right. Freaking idiots. I swear to God. Yeah,
well,
he's
people are
nice.
mad at Speaker Johnson right now because he is in negotiations currently with Democratic leadership to get the spending bill finalized so that we don't have another government shutdown. And the spending bill that he apparently is negotiating is pretty much the same as what Speaker McCarthy was ousted for negotiating. It's $1.6 trillion, including a whole bunch of crap that nobody wants. And Chip Roy is fed up with it. And he's right. But the fact that they are actually talking at all, and maybe it's just Caitlin Collins at this point, who knows, but that there is any discussion at all about ousting Mike Johnson as Speaker.
There is.
I
a lot of
cannot
discussion.
deal.
A lot of discussion about
I
it.
can't. I
Mhm.
cannot.
Yep. They're talking about it a lot. Yep.
Here is Chip talking about the spending.
The fact of the matter is, we're tired of the same old, same old. We're spending more money that we don't have. You know, we were trying to reduce spending a year ago down to pre-COVID levels, like 1471. Right now, we actually adhered to the caps that were embraced last year on a bipartisan basis, majority Democrats, majority Republicans, and we would only spend 1562. That's 1.562 trillion. Instead, another deal has been cut, and it's going to be 1.66 trillion, which busts the caps and uses a bunch of gimmicks to backfill and increase spending. So Americans are tired of that. So I oppose it. It's just more of the same. And, you know, I wish Speaker Johnson weren't doing this. I'm very disappointed, and hopefully we can try to figure out what we can do to change it in the next few days.
Well, who do you hold responsible for it? Is it Speaker Johnson?
Well, I mean, his office is doing the negotiating. So, I mean, that's the deal. And if we end up doing this by suspension, we're going to have to start calling him the suspension speaker. I think we should do regular order, and we should try to get this done the right way. But look, there's not going to be support, across the board among Republicans, because a lot of us want to reduce spending. And the American people sent us here to cut spending and not keep doing more of the same thing. We're $34 trillion in debt. Both sides should agree to cut spending. And in fact, we did. We came to an agreement last year to cap spending. Now we're going to blow past those caps.
Well, I mean, a lot of what this looks like is the same situation that then Speaker Kevin McCarthy found himself in not long ago, just several months ago. I mean, is Speaker Johnson, going to potentially face the same fate? Are Republicans going to try to oust him?
Last year when the ranking member of the Appropriations Committee for Democrats, Rose DeLauro, she didn't vote for this bill because the side deals weren't written into the bill. That's actually, I think, part of the problem here. We only agreed and voted on, and Democrats and Republicans supported a bill at $1.59 trillion. Now they're going to blow it by another $70 billion. We shouldn't do it. Speaker Johnson shouldn't do it. I think there's going to be some real conversations this week about what we need to do going forward.
Does that include potentially moving to oust him from his job?
Yeah, I mean, again, that's not the road I prefer. I mean, we've gone down the road. I didn't prefer to go down that road with Speaker McCarthy. We need to figure out how to get this all done together. But it isn't good, and there's a lot of my colleagues who are pretty frustrated about it, so we'll see what happens this week.
Okay, you said you don't prefer it, but you did not say no to that. I should know. And also, speaking of, I would like to
Yeah, so get it done and don't oust him. Like that's the last.
Or just let the government shut down.
Honestly,
shut it down.
Seriously, that's the last thing we need is to have another guy ousted.
I know. I know.
It just shows that our party, we don't rally, and we're just not. We can't work to figure out a way to get this crap done. Like surely we can work together and make a budget and get this spending stuff. We can make this work. I'm sure that Mike Johnson can sit down with a Chip Roy and he can say, hey, you know what? This needs to happen. Let's make this happen. Why can't we do this as human beings on our side of the aisle? Why can't we do this?
Well, they can do it fine. It's just the Democrats won't accept their terms. And so we end up with this giant piece of crap legislation once again.
Well, then shut it down.
That's the thing. I feel like that's the only way. And they gotta, I mean, it's a chicken game, I get it, but like there's this constant threat. Well, Republicans are not going to put up with all of this nonsense spending. They will shut it down. There's the threat, but then they never follow through. And so Democrats totally call them on it. And then this is where we end up.
Which is
so
why
frustrating.
We have to rally and we have to stick to our guns. And then we just shut that down. We just shut it down. We have to stick to our guns. We have got to stick together and rally. Otherwise, they will always call our bluff. Always.
Right. And they have, and they are, and it's super, super frustrating.
Balls, you guys.
Balls. Yesterday, we talked about Claudine Gay finally resigning. Symone Sanders, very, very upset by this. She refers to the plagiarism as like, I can't remember how she says it, but she says alleged or like plagiarism in air quotes or whatever. She totally dismisses it as if these accusations aren't true and that there aren't a zillion of them, and then goes on to cry about how this is pure racism. It gives her chills. It's chilling what has happened to Claudine Gay. She's such a ridiculous person. Look at her.
A few moments to talk about Harvard University President Dr. Claudine Gay. She resigned last week after drawing criticism for her testimony at a congressional hearing on campus anti-Semitism, along with allegations of so-called plagiarism. What happened to Claudine Gay is chilling. It is part of a larger war on diversity, on history, on Black people in this country, people of color. And if one of the most prestigious universities in the world caved to pressure from the conservative activist mob, who will stand up to them then? If our institutions will not stand firm in the face of lies and targeting and vitriol, then who will? This is a moment where institutions, individuals, people must be willing to stand strong against the storm of targeted attacks from political extremists. They're going to keep coming. They will not stop.
Oh my God. The chick is still getting paid like $900,000 a year to do jack squat after she cheated. Like what, 37 times? There were like 30, wasn't it like 37 counts of
I
plagiarism?
think even more than that at this point.
Okay, they're finding more instances. I cannot alleged so-called plagiarism. It's like cry me a river. Most people, if they did something at their job, their regular job, like in the private sector, and they cheated or did something that was bad, they would have gotten booted and they wouldn't make $900,000 a year. Get bent. I cannot believe this. Like we have to feel sorry for her because she's making almost. I just can't believe this. Like this is. She gets $900,000 a year. She doesn't have to do anything. She cheated. She lied. She lied not just once or twice, but she lied multiple times, and she gets rewarded with $900,000 a year. Y'all get to do that? Do you get to do that? Because sign me up. Oh my God.
And Symone talking about like the institutions and how they're being attacked. They have been utterly infiltrated into indoctrination centers, and she just doesn't have the self-awareness to actually hear her own words coming out of her face. She's just like AOC in this next clip, who is all woe is me about the fact that impeachment is being used as a political tool. And there's no self-awareness here, you guys. None.
What they're using and what they're doing is taking impeachment and taking all of the most serious procedures that we have as a country, and they're learning to use it for they're politically weaponizing it for an election purpose, for a political purpose. And in doing so, they're putting the people of this country, everyday Americans, absolutely at the bottom of the barrel, and they're putting themselves first.
Right.
It's a selfishness that really endangers this country. It endangers our electoral process. It endangers our legal process. It's deeply cynical, and it's done to reelect themselves and line their own pockets.
Oh my God.
Like,
How?
did she hear herself?
How does this woman function on a day-to-day basis? What's a garbage disposal? What is it? I'm
shook.
I'm so shocked. I just learned how plants work. I'm 28. I don't understand. With the water and the sunshine. I don't.
Oh my God. Teresa Raimundo, thank you. Teresa says, I'd love to see Dr. Carol Swain and Symone Sanders debate. Take down. Come on. I would love that
I would
too.
love it too.
That would be amazing. Somebody mentioned these protests that took place on, I think, 3 New York bridges and a tunnel. Like they completely shut down New York City yesterday with their ridiculous protests. I'm sick and tired of these people not facing harsh consequences, like being run over by tanks.
Yes.
That is at this point what should happen. Not that I condone violence on the show.
No, we don't condone any violence on the show, but tanks would be nice.
But tanks.
Just a couple.
Or just like giant water hoses filled with pepper spray.
Right.
Whatever it takes. I'm sick of this
with
shit.
piranhas in them. Just a couple piranhas. Maybe 2 or 3. But we don't condone violence on the show.
We do not condone violence on the show at all.
We
Just
don't.
a couple piranhas.
Just maybe a few. Just a little snappy
nibbly ones.
little baby piranhas.
Just
Right.
yes, exactly, baby ones. Anyway, it's causing mayhem everywhere. I know this happens in cities across the country. It happened in Seattle again. It's absolutely insane, and it's going to get worse. I mean, I don't even want to think about what's going to happen this summer.
Oh my
it's
God.
probably going to make the summer of 2020 look like a peace fest. Like
Prepare yourself.
Just make sure that you're prepared for any eventuality.
You
One
and Danger
guy
Girl.
that went viral yesterday is so all of us. He was just trying to pick up his kid. And
Totally.
he was so sick of these people, and he responded.
You're disrupting traffic, idiots. You can't do that. That's against
Love
the
him.
law.
He's getting out.
I'm not just going to throw a fist at y'all, bro. I'm not going to run y'all over. Get away from my car, bro. Okay, whoa.
Yep.
Get away from my car. Get away from my car. Bro, get away from my car. I have a daughter in Brooklyn. Don't touch him. Get in your car. Get the fuck out of the way. Run him over. Run him over. Don't touch him.
God, I love him.
I love
Get out of
him.
the way. I have to get home.
masks are like, I don't know what to do.
He's really angry.
I've never been touched like that in that manner. My mask may fall off. I don't know what to do.
I hate these people, man.
I
really, really
them
hate
too.
them.
I cannot deal.
Oh, it just makes me so
And why do you have
angry.
a mask on? Why? All of you. Why do you have masks on still?
I mean, God, I just can't stand
You know
them.
they're like quintuple, like boosted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like Howard
Not with
Stern
these
getting
people.
COVID after being
Yeah.
such a total recluse
They
and getting
all-
like 98 boosters. And
They
now he's
all-
like, I don't know how I got it.
Like, you look boosted. You do. Uh-huh.
I don't know if you guys remember that there was a group of academics who decided to light the academic world on fire by writing, I don't know if it was one or several, completely satirical, over the top, ridiculous pieces to be published in, highly credible academic journals. And they got not only published, but rewarded. This happened a few years ago. It's one of my favorite stories ever. And it looks like there's going to be a documentary about this. And I've got a couple teaser clips to share with everybody that are just, I cannot wait. I love everything about this story, even though if you think about it, it's terrifying that this is the depths to which our academic institutions have sunk. Here's a couple clips.
When I first read it, I had two reactions. One was a huge laugh, and then I said, thank God somebody exposed this.
You think, oh, these people are studying racism and sexism. Okay, somebody should be doing that, and good. Then you start looking at it, and they publish some crazy stuff. I mean, crazy stuff.
Our goal is to publish as many papers as we can that are unbelievably sophisticated parodies, and we're going to publish these in Tier 1 journals.
That was me. I translated Mein Kampf in a paper for a feminist gender studies journal.
Oh my God.
It's hard to convey to people who are not in this world what an insane idea this is. I mean, literally to delegitimize an entire body of scholarship.
And I'm fighting these people. I'm just not going to let them smear other people as bigoted, racist, homophobic. I'm sick of it. And they think they're coming for me. I'm coming for all of them.
I love it. Isn't it so great? So freaking great.
So we wrote this paper where we claimed that we were a feminist researcher who spent 1,000 hours in Portland, Oregon dog parks. And then we said when there was a dog humping, that she would go up and she would inspect the dog's genitals, and she inspected 10,000 dogs' genitals, and then interrogated the owners about their sexual orientations.
Oh my God.
And then we said we're going to pass that data through black feminist criminology, which makes no sense. And then we said that the conclusion was that dog parks are petri dishes of canine rape culture, and that they are rape condoning spaces just like human nightclubs. So human nightclubs are automatically now rape condoning spaces. And so the conclusion was that we now have to train men the way that we train dogs.
It is also not politically feasible to leash men, yank their leashes when they misbehave, or strike men with leashes or other objects in an attempt to help them desist from sexual aggression and other predatory behaviors.
Reviewer 3. To start, a more robust definition and explanation of rape in the context of dogs is needed. How did the author ascertain whether the sexual advances of a dog were wanted or unwanted, or the other dog involved? This strikes me as likely to open considerable misinterpretation by human onlookers. The author fairly unequivocally tags the number of 1 every hour of sexual encounters between dogs as rape without providing a strong basis for the researcher's knowledge of whether these encounters were wanted or unwanted.
I can tell you, man, it was the craziest thing ever. I remember I got the email.
Subject is GPC query in the first few words. Dear Helen, I have a question for you about your article.
Because I just saw the editor and I'm like, oh no, they figured it out, right?
As you may know, GPC is in its 25th year of publication, and as part of honoring that occasion, GPC is going to publish 12 lead pieces over the 12 issues of 2018, and some even into 2019.
And they give this an award.
Oh my God. I cannot. That is the greatest.
Oh my God. I cannot wait. I hope that that's like a full feature film.
Do you know when it's coming out?
I don't. I'm going to go to this website. If you're listening and not watching, the website to, I guess, see more information about this is Michael Nayna, NYNAYNA.substack.com. That's who put these clips up. And so,
I
just
God,
cannot
fantastic.
wait.
Fantastic. Oh God, I love it so much.
Isn't
that so great. All these people. Oh my God. Just academia. I love it.
I know. But it is actually horrible. You know what I mean? Like
It
it's
is.
just
I mean, that's
awful.
Yeah, I know. And people spend we spend so much money on our kids going to universities. I know. Sorry, all the dogs are. My husband just took my daughter to a doctor's appointment, and so the dogs are in my office. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't help it. They're going to be running in and out, so everybody's just going to have to deal with dogs running in and out. Anyways.
Remember the guy, the trans weirdo who like purposely sets up his phone camera at restaurants in the hopes that he'll be misgendered and then he can bitch about it and like make content. This is how he makes a living. So he is going to go under the knife to get the dong surgery. Like he's going to get his dong removed. And you guys, he uses a banana to describe the procedure, and it's horrifying, but also, and I know this is super mean of me to say, and I don't condone violence on this show, as you know.
Except for the fire hoses with the piranhas in them.
But
other than that,
I genuinely hope that he has the most painful fake vag ever. Like, I cannot stand this guy.
Yeah.
He's the worst of the worst. Here he is describing the banana being split.
Getting my banana split later this year. I talked to my surgeon on the phone, and this is how he's going to do it. Step 1 is, of course, to split the banana.
So gross.
Inside the banana, we find a small tube of red licorice. You know this tube. It's the one that transports caramel sauce and frosting. We're actually going to shorten this tube, and I will show you why later. Next up, we're going to move our way back to the ice cream bag that is holding the 2 maraschino cherries, and we're going to remove them.
Gross.
I already had mine removed last year, but if I hadn't, they'd be removed now. Next up, we're going to remove the innards from the banana so that it's basically just a hollow tube. Now that we have our tube, we need to flip it inside. The inside will be played by this butternut squash. As you can see, the tube of licorice that we cut is right here. You can see why we wanted it about this short. In order to flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash, we must first make room in the butternut squash.
God,
so let's make some space.
Mental.
There we go. Finally, we can flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash and let it heal. Healing can take up to a year, but really I'll be on my feet after a few months. And yes, this is very messy, but it's also very worth it.
Make it
I'm
stop.
finally getting...
Can you make it stop? Okay, I have a question. What's he going to be doing for those few months while he's not on his feet?
He's going to be sitting at restaurants waiting to be misgendered.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like, he's like, I won't be on my feet for a couple months. It's going to take me a year to heal. A year. I mean, you guys, I had back surgery,
gross.
and I was up after about 2 weeks. But like I had to work. You know, I mean, like, does this guy work?
This is his job. Remember, we showed a video a couple weeks ago of him saying, "This is how I make a living."
This is
by
unbelievable.
Creating content.
Yeah, somebody said living off our disability. This is the thing. Man, these people, this is mental.
That's super mental.
Absolutely
super
mental.
And in order to cleanse your palate of that horror show that I just showed you, I have an awesome guy from TikTok and other social media platforms, a black guy, talking to his fellow black brothers and sisters about oppression, and it is awesome.
Every day I wake up, I'm thankful to be an American citizen. I look at all these other countries. Houses made out of dirt, people scrounging for food, working for pennies a day. And black folks in this country have the nerve to tell me and other people that they are oppressed when there's people out there who are really oppressed. Those same people saying that all cops are bad. Meanwhile, all you have to do is respect the cop and you can go about your day. I'm 32 years old. I've been on this planet for 32 years. I've been a United States citizen for 32 years, and I've yet to be oppressed by a white person or a cop. First time I was ever pulled over, the cop had a chip on his shoulder. A couple of yes sirs and no sirs got me back home without any holes in my body. A lot of y'all need to understand that you're just oppressing yourself. I always say this, you are the pilot of your own life. You crash and burn, you didn't fly right. The victim mentality can stop too. Y'all don't have to blame white people for everything. Realize what you did and take accountability for it. I know that word just fucked you up, but you'll be all right. Now, y'all have a great day.
I love him.
Right?
I
So
totally
great.
love him. I can only imagine the comments he got for that.
Oh,
Like,
I should look. I should look and see
Yeah.
how people respond.
I always run straight to the comments, and I'm sure he got a few. I'm sure he got a few hateful comments for that because
He
people don't
probably
like
did.
to be held accountable for their actions. They don't like personal responsibility in this day and age. They don't like it. They don't like being called out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God
That's
bless
true.
him. And you know what? It's so true because it's like you look at other countries, and why do you think so many people are clamoring to get in here?
Exactly.
Why do you think we've been inundated and invaded? Is it because it sucks here? Hello.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I have great news for everybody, and that is that there are panda goldfish. Look at them.
Oh my God, they're so cute, Mock.
I mean, did you know that this was a thing?
I didn't. I kind of want one now.
Aren't they the cutest?
Yeah, I'm not really a fish person, but super cute. I love
Oh
this
my
one you're about to show.
God.
I love this that you're about to show us. This kid.
This kid is ahead of his time, you guys. This is a brilliant child. If you are listening and not watching, the caption reads, I told him he could pick out a toy that fits in his hand. He is holding a gigantic toy box. And here is the ensuing conversation.
Fits in my hand.
How big is your hand?
Look.
No, that you can carry it, but I said you can get a toy that fits in your hand. Can you hold it with one hand?
Watch this, Dad. Kid. Kid is my hero. Look at his face. I love him. That's how you do it, kid. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm. Right.
He was so pleased with himself.
Oh my God, I
just
love
that.
him. Love that kid.
All right, it's time for double D's.
Okay, so I always send things to Mock for double D's where I can't show you guys because there's always this copyright thing where it's usually the things I send her, I'd say 80% of the time there's music involved, and she'll be like, I can't play that because of copyright, and I'm like, don't.
I know. I'm
And
always
so
like, I can mute it, but
it
like
just
I can't play it.
pisses me off because we always, and then we'll just get a copyright strike and everything. So I found this person or this account where it delighted me so much. There's two that she's going to play for you because no copyright I don't have to worry about it at all. And hopefully you guys will get the giggles from this account as much as I do. The first one is Kevin Bacon. And then the next one is James Brown. And I love it so much. No copyright, you guys. None. This is my favorite. This is my personal. Hold on. Those were awesome. Cause
Those
see,
are so great.
no copyright. Don't have
That's
to
right.
worry
Watch
about
us get
any-
copyright anyway
What?
because of the footage. And if that's the case, I give up. Like, I don't even know.
And listen, when we get a copyright strike, we don't have to pay for it. But what happens is they shut our entire video down. So we can't share our video for the day.
Or we end up having to trim that out. We just end up
Right.
having to trim
We
the
have to
clips
trim-
out.
which is a
later.
giant pain in the ass.
It's a
It's
huge pain.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, James Brown was my favorite.
That was a good one for
Mhm.
sure. You know what else is a good one? And that is all the things from mypillow.com/chicks. If you have not taken advantage of the bedding sale, which includes pillowcases less than $10 for a pair, it includes the bed sheets as low as $29.98. Huge bedding sale going on right now at our friends at mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. That's how you will achieve the biggest and best and deepest discounts. This is a bedding sale you don't want to miss. So refresh your rest with MyPillow. mypillow.com/chicks. It is time for some talks. I have the best story about a dog who accidentally but on purpose ran a marathon
Oh
and
my
like
God.
did really well.
Oh my God.
Medal after accidentally running a half marathon and placing 7th, all while her family thought she was just hanging out in the yard. Ludovine the Bloodhound lives on a farm in the small town of Elkmont, Alabama. One morning, her human April let her out for her routine morning bathroom break, but she didn't come back right away. Since she's a curious bloodhound living on a lot of land, it's not uncommon for her to spend a lot of time sniffing around the farm. So April didn't really think anything of it until her friend, who was volunteering at the local half marathon, sent her this picture of Ludovine wearing a medal just a few hours later. While she was outside, Ludovine apparently noticed a large group of people gathering at the
I
start line for
cannot.
the event, and she decided to go over to join them. Then, when that
can't.
group started running, she must have thought they were chasing something truly spectacular.
Oh
So
my
she ran
God.
with them the entire way. She ended up finishing first place in the women's division and 7th overall, with a finishing time of 1:32:56. Fellow runners say that her time probably could have been better, but she did stop to take a break with some cows about halfway through. April says she can't believe that she ran the entire half marathon, as she's actually pretty lazy most of the time.
Oh
And
my
yet, without
God.
any training, she came home with an award. I'm
I
Jen, and
can't.
it was something
I
positive.
mean, can you even?
I freaking love
I
that
just
dog.
cannot.
It's
the
basically
best dog
you
ever.
running a half marathon. Reluctant, but then once she got there, she was like, "This is great. This is great."
What's the word that I almost got swept by nuns in
Yeah,
full
you did.
habit, you guys. I was awful at it.
And then her toenails fell off the next day. It's
No,
fine,
it took
though.
a while. They turned
Did it?
black and then the big toe fell off.
It
Yeah.
completely fell off.
That was
Yeah,
crazy. I'm never doing
it's
that
fine, though.
again.
She had a really good time. No
I
medals.
did not.
though.
It was awful. And the way that Daisy made me do it is by telling me this is a true story. Daisy was like, it's basically just like shopping at the mall. It's like walking through a mall all afternoon. That's all it's really
It
like.
is. It's
That's
a lot
what
like
she
that.
said.
It is. It's like 3 hours of shopping. It's
It
really,
is
if you
not
think
at
about
all like
it,
that. It's
basically
horrible.
like that. Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
awful. I will never, ever do it again, ever. Have you ever heard the saying that it's not really a saying, but like the idea, I guess, that cats are made of liquid? Have you heard this?
No, I've never heard that.
Because cats can get themselves like if there's a vase, for example, a cat is going to figure out how to fit into it
Yeah.
and like just be happy there.
Oh my God.
Like they will fit into the weirdest things, and they also fit under doorways, and it's incredible. For example,
Oh my God.
they are liquid.
God. That is awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so awesome.
Crazy. Also, if you're a person that works from home and you have a very needy dog who really
That would
wants
be
to
me.
play with you,
Would be me.
it can often look something like this.
Oh my God. He's so great. What
Just
corgi's
really
got?
wants to play.
God, he's got some air. He gets some air with those toys. Look at him go.
Ow.
Wow. He's like the Michael Corgan is what he is. Look at him.
I love that. I know it's mean. Like people think it's mean when you put dogs on shoes, but sometimes they really need shoes if they're like in extreme climate. So I don't think
Yeah.
it's mean. And it
I
does
think
take
it's-
getting used to.
I think it's kind of mean.
But I mean, sometimes you have to do it. It's for their
Look,
own good.
You can already tell that dog is not happy. He is not. Are you serious? All of his dog friends are like, you look ridiculous, Bob. Look at him. Oh, yeah. The dog is loving that. Are you seriously?
I mean, at first they don't like it, but then they
I
they get
mean,
used
oh
to
my God, it's ridiculous. You guys, I know I have a huge glare coming from my window, but I'm not going to close it just yet. I'm not.
Yeah, it's too
I
early.
think
I
I'm
mean,
good.
don't worry about it.
We're already, yeah. And it looks like an angel's coming in, which I kind of like.
Yesterday we talked about the Stanley Cup phenomenon, like these ridiculous cups that girls need to have zillions of for some inexplicable reason. I still
Yes.
don't understand it. But now there's starting to be a lot of TikTok videos making fun. And here is an example.
Everyone go around and say their name and a fun fact. Brittany, let's start with you. Hi, everyone. My name is Brittany. And the fun fact about me is that I have 382 Stanley tumblers.
Wow, that's a lot. Why do you like them?
Well, I like that I have them. And I like that they're in all different colors. And I like that they are cups. And I like that they hold liquids in them. Hey, my husband said that he wants to stay married, but he also wants to see other people. What does that mean? I'm trying to figure out what that means. But if y'all want advice on how to get a good deal on tumblers, you know where to find me.
Oh my God, so great.
And they're huge, right? Like the Stanley tumblers are really
Yes.
giant. Okay,
They're
that's why
ridiculous. They're like 44 ounces. It's like a big gulp, but in a ridiculously overpriced container.
that's why this is so fun.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. The straw. Look at the straw. Oh my God, look at it. I gotta get a sip. That's so great.
Anyway, those are your talks for today.
Those are fantastic talks. It's the Bladder Buster
Oh
Cup,
my
says
God.
Florence. Yes, it totally is. It's like, just get a big gulp at 7-Eleven. It costs like 98 cents still, right?
They probably get refills in that big giant cup.
I go to Cefco here in Texas and just get a big, huge cup, you know, and then just suck off that for like 2 or 3 days. That's what I
You're
do.
destroying the environment.
Yes, I am. I totally am. Guilty. I am.
You
Hey,
guys,
are we doing gifts?
presents.
Are we
Yes.
doing some presents?
Yes.
You want to?
So
Okay.
let's bring it in before.
Let's bring it in and let's do some presents, because I thank some people offline, but I want to like at least say their names again and thank them properly here.
I did not thank people offline, so I'm going to thank them here.
You are terrible. You are you are an awful human being. But are you going to do that? You're going to do it here because you want to start and go first?
I don't care. You want me to go first?
Why don't you go first and then
Okay.
I'll go with mine. Yes.
Okay, let me get my little listy thing.
Okay.
So first, I just wanted to shout out to the people who sent cards: Jersey Shore Thompsons, the Everetts, Lori Jean Smetzer, the Pipiniches. I think I'm saying that right.
Yes, I got Pipiniches. I'm glad you said the name because
I don't know if I said it right.
It's a great name. I
It is
remember
kinda
saying that
fun.
to my family. I'm like, Pipinich, Pipinich. It's such a great name.
And then from Dale Knoll and his daughter Ida, they sent like this cute little mug that she made.
So cute.
So freaking cute. So precious. And then from Barb Hunziker.
Yes.
I can't see it, but she sent soap and a coffee coaster.
Yep.
I cannot find at the moment, but I do have and I love.
Yep. I got that too. I got a coat. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From Dawn Ackley, this cute plaque, this
I
Count
got-
Your Blessings plaque.
I
and
also
some
got that.
soap,
Mm-hmm.
and some goat milk soap, which is
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah. Thank you,
From
Dawn.
Renee Nadeau, a gift card to my choice of restaurants, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's like 12 different restaurants on there,
I
which is so
know.
fantastic. And I use those. Like that's
Oh
the
my
one
God.
person I did not thank Renee offline. So I wanted to thank you with her because I don't know why, but I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, Renee, but that you're one of the people I've not. So, and then there was also some sweet bookmarks with scripture on there. So thank you, Renee.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cami Sweeten, the Cracker Barrel gift card. I don't know if you think I'm going to get food or clothing, but I appreciate it regardless.
Yeah.
Because
Yummy,
I
thank
like me some
you.
Cracker Barrel clothes.
Cracker Barrel's awesome. Yes. So thank you.
After absolutely spoiling us for Christmas, Via sent a
Oh my
Starbucks
God.
gift card for New Year's. I just can't with you, Via.
Yeah,
I cannot.
she's over the top, like so much stuff, so generous. She spoiled Gwenny and Greg too, and just and also our grandson. So you just spoil us rotten. And thank you so much. We love you, Via. I don't even know where
Oh
to
my
begin with
gosh.
you. Right.
I know. It's ridiculous. So much stuff.
Mhm.
Brenda Bonneman sent 2 boxes of Reese's Pieces, which I love, and then a Chick-fil-A gift card, which will absolutely be used.
Me
Very, very
too.
much appreciate that.
And also from her, I also got a Daisy wallet, which I really, really love. So thank you, Brenda. Thank you.
Aw.
Mhm.
And then Mean Gene. I mean, it would take a half an hour
Right, me
to
too.
show you the piles of things that she got for us, our kids,
The
our
dogs.
husbands, the dogs.
It's
Like,
out of control.
I mean, piles and piles and piles and piles of gifts. It's
I know.
just above anything I could have ever imagined. She's amazing. Mean
It's just
Gene.
right.
All the
So
hearts to
I
Mean Gene.
know, right? Just so, so sweet. Okay. Is there any more on your list? Any
I
more?
think that's it for me.
Okay. I wanted to thank a few people too. So I think one of the persons I wanted to thank too is Colleen Wilson. She sent me these wonderful Holocaust history books for Gwen.
Because you were talking about school.
I would pick them up, but they're sitting on my bookshelf. They are so gigantic. They're like this thick. There's 2 of them. They're gigantic. So thank you for that. I wanted to thank Colleen for that. So, so sweet. I think we already thanked Tim and Beth Simmons before the holidays for the St. Louis gift basket. We thanked Dawn. John Stevenson, you sent me a really sweet book that you wrote. It's a Santa's Little Stocking Stuffer book. So thank you for that. So sweet, John. You're just lovely for doing that.
I think I thanked him before the holiday.
You
I'm
may have
pretty
done
sure I
that,
did.
and I don't think I
Okay.
did. So I just want to make sure he was on my list. Carla and Steve Bowser sent a check for Theo, which was so incredibly sweet. Wanted to thank them. And then Susan Laux. I don't know if I'm doing your name right. Is it Lukes or Laux? It's Louks. Very generous check for Theo. Also, so sweet and generous. Thank you so much. And just a lot of the cards were saying things about Theo and just being very sweet about making sure they're praying for him and all that. It's just so sweet. And your prayers worked because he's like almost completely healed. It's just unbelievable. I love this community so much.
Yes.
Carolyn Everett also sent a check for Theo. So thank you. And believe me, it's going to that because we had a big vet bill. So thank you so much for that. And then Michelle Schiffbanner sent kind of like what you had. It's right here in front of me. I have not hung this yet. I'm going to put this in our cabin.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
Okay. Yeah. I love my thing.
Yeah. It's from a Colorado art artist. And she also sent an American snowman, which I've already put up in my all of my Christmas stuff. So thank you so much to Michelle. And then I think I thanked Gay Obraslinsky for her gifts. I already talked to her about her stuff. And Cammie, we thanked Cammie. And I don't think I've missed anybody. Have I missed anybody? I wrote all this down. And I think we've got it. I think we've got everybody. So thank you, guys.
I hope so. Because that was a lot. That was so
I
generous.
know. So many wonderful gifts for Christmas. You guys are so unbelievably generous and sweet. And then the cards and just all the lovely things. We love you guys so much. And stuff for our kids and our husbands.
I mean, it's too much.
I know. Greg is just like, why am I getting stuff? And I'm like, because people love you too. And he's like, well, they do? Why?
Why?
It's just like so sweet. So you guys, thank you. Thank you so
very,
much.
very much appreciated. But
Yes.
remember, the very best way to support us is by buying from our sponsors.
That's
so
true.
treat yourself.
Right.
And you treat us in the process
Right.
when you visit our sponsors and
Yeah.
purchase stuff from them.
Always
We're all
treat
great.
yourself. Always treat yourself first. Yes, exactly. And we love you guys. So hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk to everybody tomorrow. Bye. Bye, guys.